Bank2Budget Your Data form. This is a form you'll use often, mainly for searching on data that you've already entered or transactions that you've already entered. As we go through this demo, you'll start to see the importance of the detail field on how you can prepare yourself for looking up data that's relevant to you as the years pass. Of course, the database that we're going to be looking at is a seasoned database that dates back to 2007. So let's get started. Okay, once again, this is John's budget. You'll have three areas. The first area is this demo here, which is called Your Data. You have on the very top section, you have some links here that will allow you to quickly go in and view your transactions that are outstanding. John and his family doesn't have any outstanding transactions, so you'll see that it tells you that there are no transactions. This one here, search and view modified transactions, this shows all the transactions that have been omitted by the users in date sequence. And sometimes this is important to see exactly what was omitted from a database or for your financial records. Add a transaction to your database. This is a convenience link that we'll cover in the data maintenance section. Please make sure you view that video. View and edit future expense purchases. This is separate from Bank2Budget. This is a its own table here that allows you to put in items that you have that you're actually trying to save up for. Wood flooring, counters, all kinds of home improvements, other types of things that you can actually put in here and keep track of how much really money you have outstanding that you would be wanting to purchase in the future. This form also is important or useful in doing your taxes, where you can download this data by in Excel that's in Access, and you'll be able to get all your records that are, like, for example, 2009. You'll be able to use those in your taxes. You can add and refresh from here. Okay, let's get started. The first link here, if you notice, allows you to reprocess your transactions. The first link here does say display all payee transactions. Payee is what the bank terminology is the place that processed your credit card or where you made your purchase from. Of course, in here, this is by date sequence, and let's get an example of something. Let's do an example of something I'd like to reprocess. Okay, let's say this barbecue place here, I put FF for French fry. I'd like to reprocess that and into different types of categories. Of course, in budget is easily configured or edited in this form here. You don't have to do anything else, but reprocessing, it'll be adjust transactions here. So let's give it a try. Okay, click here. Okay, and so now I'd like to go ahead and reprocess that by spelling out French fries. Oops. And I'm going to put it in groceries. And the other thing that's interesting for you to see is that you can actually change the date. Okay, so I filled out everything that I need to do. Now it shows there are no unprocessed transactions. If I go back, here you'll see French fries is actually changed, and it is in the grocery field too. So that's a way of pulling back transactions and reclassing or reprocessing them. Second link is a link to see if you can search for all transactions for a particular payee name. For example, we just used a Bill Miller barbecue. We're going to just go barbecue right now. Hit search, and you'll see there's a lot of Bill Miller barbecues. If I page, that is all there is really. And from 2007 all the way up to today's date, we've spent $230 there at that barbecue place. So this summary up here is kind of helpful too. Okay, oops, clicked the wrong one. Let's go back. All right, here's another one that is important, the description field, which is called details. Let's say John wanted to find something. It was something he purchased in a tennis at a tennis shop. He doesn't remember what it was, but he wanted to recall everything that was tennis. So John has made sure when he processes transactions from anywhere, he actually does put tennis in there if it does apply to tennis. Same thing for medicines, etc. He actually types in the medicine name that he's purchased at a pharmacy or something, and that's very good for recall. But let's look at the tennis example. Okay, so he has a lot of tennis transactions, and he can go in here and find exactly where he purchased something and find out a shoe size or whatever. You know, it's all up to the user how they want to detail how detailed they want this field here, but if you do detail it smart, you're going to find yourself being able to recall items very quickly in the future. Okay, that was description. Here's a date range. This one's kind of interesting here too. Shows you the transactions that transpired between a certain date field. Range. Okay, and I know that John had some vacation between August 5th and let me see. Oh, I can just type it in here. And then August, I believe it might have been the 8th of 2010. Okay, and it was a vacation, so there's a high likelihood that he classed it as pleasure, at least in this database here. But let's go ahead and leave it blank, because then it'll show you different things that come up with it. And well, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and class it as pleasure, and we'll show you exactly what's coming back. So for that particular it's river camping trip, looks like he spent $504 for that trip on all kinds of different things. Of course, they're all classed as pleasure. If they're not pleasure, then what you would do is just delete that field right there and search, and then you would be able to see there would be other things like maybe gas or something like that was used for the trip. Our recommendation is if you purchase gas for a pleasure trip that you class it as pleasure, so that you can recap a vacation cost very quickly. And the very fifth column here is something, well, I know it was $10, and in this field you'll have to put the negative figure in here, and let's just look for $10. This is a way of looking for price that's $10, a negative $10. Let's go back. And of course, inside here there's a mid-value search. So if you wanted something that was 99 cents, doesn't matter the negative or positive, you'll be able to get 99 cents of whatever that purchase was. Finally, the bottom two links here are display forms that will come back that allow you to change the budget field only, not revise. This actually, if you choose this drop down, you'll see this in John's database, everything. This is all the vendors that he's ever processed since 2007. If you notice, let me get back to something. These user splits, these are actually where at this particular store he bought two kinds of different categories. He split them up, and that's why split 1, split 2 is right there. Okay. And the very final one is another secondary search for if you wanted anything of home. Let's say, for example, couch. You wanted to look for a couch that classed as home, and you're able to bring up those types of data too. Okay. Simply hitting refresh will take those fields away and get you back to square one. This form you'll find is very useful for reclassing data that you feel needs to be reclassed, or mistakes that are happening in your database. You're easily bring back and reclass them. Welcome to Bank2Budget.